Yay! I'm live today. First time lucky. First time lucky. I'm so excited. Hello, guys. Are you here? Hi, friends. All right, let's see who is joining us. Hi, Facebook friends. Roll on Instagram. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's happening. All right, guys, so just a little bit of a recap for those of you who haven't watched or haven't been following my live videos, but can go back and watch the videos in the past. We are dealing with functional language. Hello there. And last week I dealt with functional language for agreeing and disagreeing, giving opinions, requesting, and so much more. So if you are interested in going back to having a look at what I dealt with, you are most welcome. Hi there. You're most welcome to go back onto our YouTube channel and have a look at those videos. Hello, Jacqueline. I hope you're well. I know that you've been very busy today, hey? So this week we've been dealing with the functional language of offering and asking, giving and refusing permission. And we have also been dealing with asking questions. And today we are going to dive right into that. Hello, Eliani. Hello, sweetie. So asking questions, guys. How many times do we ask a question? Now, seriously, if you really think about it. We ask questions all the time, right? So asking a good question can really make the difference between an uncomfortable or awkward silence to a creative, thought-provoking discussion. Questions conquer doubts. They help us to reach our goals. I mean, they put those goals, those dreams into action. And if you just think about it just for a few seconds, how many times has asking a question led to a dramatic change in the trajectory of your life? So if you think about it in that way, you'll really get a good feel for how important asking questions correctly is. Well, how important questions are. So it's really, really important to be able to form a robust question. So the things that you need to consider when you are asking a question in English is the situation, number one. So is it a request? Do you need to confirm information that you already know? Are you doing research? So what is the situation that you need to be asking the question about? Number one. Number two, is it open-ended? So do you need specific information from the person? So you need a specific answer. Or is it close-ended, which means is a yes or no answer sufficient? And the third thing is structure, guys. Now, I know that when you're speaking, it's not like you stop and decide, oh, hang on a second, must I put the verb first or the subject or what goes first? We don't think about it when we speak, right? And, clearly it's going to be a little bit of a problem in your conversation if you stop every second to think about it, right? So I'm going to end my chat with what you can do with regards to the structure. But what we can look at right now is the structure of the 3 most important types of questions that you need to master. So the first one is the direct question. So direct questions are the most common questions to ask. We can use them for simple and for complex questions, and mostly are open-ended. How's it, Joy? And most of the questions are open-ended. So the structure for these direct questions starts with the question word. Now, the question word, if you need to ask an open-ended question, is necessary, because that tells your listener, the person that you're speaking to, that you need something specific from them. Otherwise, you leave it out if you require just yes or no. So, question word plus the auxiliary, the subject, the verb form, and perhaps the object. Again, the object might not be necessary. So, for example, when do you finish your course? Who are you here with? And how long have you been studying? So the question word, when, the auxiliary verb, do, subject, you, verb form, finish, object, your course. When do you finish your course? Second one, who are you here with? Who, question word, are, auxiliary verb, you, subject, here with. All right, so this is the basic structure that you need to follow when you deal with direct questions. The second type of question you want to master are the yes and no questions. These are the close-ended questions. So it's okay to get a yes or no answer. The yes or no questions refer to simple questions. They don't need much more than yes and no, and you do not use a question word for this, right? So you start with the auxiliary verb. You then need a subject, you need a verb form, and an object. So, example, do you live in Cape Town? Have you been to Europe? Is she coming to school? All right, let's look at that. Ooh. Do you live in Cape Town? Do is your auxiliary verb. You is your subject. Yes. Live is your verb. In Cape Town, your object. Do you live in Cape Town? Hello, Abdullah. Hello, Jefferson. So that is your yes and no questions. The last one that I'm going to be talking about today are the indirect questions. And you guys, if you have been following me, you have heard me speak about the indirect way of speaking. We use the indirect way of speaking to be more polite, and indirect questions are no different. So to ask a question in a super polite way, we use the same questions as direct, the direct form, but we include an introduction phrase before the question word. So the subject is introduction phrase, question word, or if, the word if, plus the positive sentence. So let's look at some examples. Do you know when class starts? Hello, Shalane. Do you know when class starts? So do you know is your introduction phrase. This softens the question. Then you have your question word, when class starts. Do you know when class starts? Another example, I was wondering if you could tell me where I can get some coffee. I was wondering if you could tell me where I could get some coffee. I was wondering if. So those are some phrases that you can use. Do you know? Very common. I'm sure you've heard it, guys. I'm sure you've heard it. Hello, Kezia. Do you know? I was wondering. Could you tell me? Could you tell me? I was wondering. So these three chunks of language you can use in front of a direct question before your question word to soften your question. Now, the examples I gave you, you're probably thinking, why did I need to soften those questions? They're fine. Why can't I just say, when does class start? You can say, when does class start? You can be direct if you want. But there are certain situations where you might be a little shy, you may be not confident, you're new, you want to make a really, really good impression. And so we use these to be extra polite. All right. Play with the language. It's really important that you can decide in that moment, wow, I'm going to use this because it's more polite. All right. So like I promised, I'm going to, I have no secrets. I have no secrets as to how you can magically backs me when I say those who practice, those who put themselves in the situations that are necessary to practice the language are the ones that will be able to use it. All right. So, guys, I know you've heard me say this a bazillion times, but you've got to get involved in conversations. You've got to ask, you've got to offer, you've got to give opinions, you've got to agree, you've got to disagree. And this not only increases your ability to use this language, but it increases your accuracy. Obviously, it increases your accuracy because if you're in a conversation, you're going to hear the correct models all the time. Your fluency will increase, but most importantly, your confidence will go up big time. So the more confident you are, the more likely you are going to use this language. So, and this is really, really important. I suppose it may seem a little bit fluffy, but it is how it is. It's language. It's, in fact, if you look at the curriculum of obligatory schooling and education, you'll always find language comes under language arts. And that's exactly what it is. It's an art. And art is something that grows, it transpires, it changes sometimes. And it can be quite subjective. You know, people have different ways of speaking. Yesterday, I was talking a bit about may and can, how hardcore grammarians. Hi, Farzad. I'm very well, thank you. Hardcore grammarians or nerds like me will turn their nose up to, can I go to the toilet? But actually, that is okay. You can say that. It's totally fine because we're in a modern society, and that's the language that has grown with the society. So it's molding and shaping. And the only way you can really appreciate it is by being in it. So, for example, my English 1 students at 6 p.m. will join in a conversation that is actually going to help them use the very language that I'm teaching you now, that I'm talking about now. So they are going to be put in the position to ask questions. And you know what? They'll get it wrong and they will laugh because everyone's in the same boat and we're going to learn from each other, and I'm there to guide them all the way. So guys, get involved in conversations in whichever way possible and use the language. With that, I leave you. I hope that I have given you some good tips And if anything, you've brushed up on your structures for the 3 different main question types. There are many others, guys, but just focusing on these 3. Go back to the videos and watch them again to brush up if necessary. Other than that, just a reminder, English 1 is online, guys. We have fantastic classes, group classes, private lessons, and specialized courses that are available. If you are interested in any of these, please drop us a line on one of our platforms and we will send you all the relevant information. It would be wonderful for you guys to join the English 1 family. So with that, a reminder that my name is Nicoletta. I am an English teacher and IELTS professional at English 1 in Cape Town. And I'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Same time, same place. Cheers, guys. Bye.